Hi, everyone. Welcome to Artsy Phis. I know people might join as time goes on, but this is just our initial group. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Brita, and I work for the Technology and Engagement Department of Alpha Phi. I was a consultant and a specialist for Alpha Phi for about a year and a half. And then this is Brooke, and I'm going to have her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm a former Alpha Phi from the Beta Epsilon chapter. I am currently an advisor for the marketing team at USC, and I graduated in 2018. So proud alumni, excited to be here today.
I guess I should have said where I'm from. I'm Epsilon Chi, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. um, yeah, so I think kind of our plan was to go through a few like different organizational hacks and like different things that I've found, different products that have really worked well. And then we'll have Brooke kind of talk about vision boarding and how she does that. Brooke, do you also want to tell them about like your background, like your career right now?
Yeah. Like I said, I graduated in 2018. I was a marketing major in the business school with a film and television minor. I had always wanted to pursue the dream of living in LA, and I landed a job in entertainment. So I currently work at Viacom CBS in the ad sales department. And I've been there for 2.5 years now, very happy, loving it. But obviously during the pandemic, I haven't been in LA. It's been kind of wild there. I'm in Arizona currently, and my job is basically working with bringing in revenue for Viacom on all of our cable networks and our digital platforms for all the advertisers. So I work with a bunch of clients such as Amazon and Facebook and Fox Broadcasting, and it's a really fun environment. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I think just for the most part, it's been nice working in the real world with some entertainment.
Perfect. So that's kind of how we found Brooke, is she kind of knows more of like the digital graphic design type stuff, maybe more of an artsy eye. So we're happy to have her. But just if you have anything that you want to share or chime in, feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to send things in the chat if you have questions or like your own ideas that have worked really well for you. And then I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. And I'll show you guys a few things that I've found that have really helped me, especially during the pandemic. I will say, as I was going through, I'm not a TikTok user, but I know a lot of people are. And so as I was going through, I was like, okay, a lot of these different products I feel like people are already seeing on TikTok, or like there's already videos out there about these types of things. So I didn't want to be too repetitive. But these are just some things that have helped me. So I'm going to start at can everyone see my screen? Awesome. I'm going to start at the bottom with like the more fun stuff. This was something that I found, and they're called planner pads. And basically this one is like a weekly one. And they also have daily ones. And I personally still feel the need to write things down. I don't do great with like digital lists and things like that. And so these are undated planner pads that you can just tear off, fill out what you need to do for that day. A lot of times there's a spot for like gratitude, and you can track your water intake, your health and fitness. And so these are just some different like, it's like a to-do list, but it helps you because it has an organized structure. And all of these things are on Amazon. There's a bunch of them. And also I'm going to send all the links in the chat. And then one thing I know my boss loves, shout out Heather Scheuer, if anyone knows her, she loves like having a calendar board on the wall. So this is like a dry erase jumbo calendar. And sometimes it's just really nice to visually see something up on the wall. It's nice that, you can erase and move things around. I also know some people do this, but with sticky notes. So you can just move your sticky notes. Oh, gotta admit someone else. You can just move your sticky notes around instead of having to like erase and things like that. So that is a great one. I have so many cables. I don't know about you all, but I have so many different just cords, charging cords. These are like little cable ties um, that have been really helpful for me. Um, and I also saw people do the like a DIY or DIY, taking like toilet paper tubes and putting your little cords in there too. So if you don't want to buy something, you can use like the end of a toilet paper tube and just kind of put your cords in there. Something else I've seen. Um, this next thing is a light therapy lamp, not necessarily organization, but um, depending on where you are in the country, I'm in California, so we're pretty lucky with weather. But this is kind of like a mood lamp, and they have a bunch of different ones on Amazon. But basically, it's just supposed to like mimic real daylight to boost your mood and make you feel more productive while you're at working from home and things like that. So this is a pretty affordable one. They have ones that are, oh, we got a chat. That lamp is brilliant. Yeah. Um, I know I'm been waiting to order one and I'm definitely going to. Um, this is just something, especially for students or just anyone that's working a lot, which is probably everyone, or working on their computer. A laptop stand is good just because like I'm not using one right now and I'm looking down at my computer. And if you have a laptop stand, it's nice because it's more eye level. It's better for your neck. And then also, you can like store things underneath it. So I like that there's like, you're kind of creating more storage underneath there, like for your sticky notes or pens or whatever. And again, with the outlets and all the cords, love the stand. Oh, I love the comments. Thank you, Melinda. So yeah, these power strips are super helpful. As a consultant traveling, I literally would travel with these everywhere. I take them everywhere with me. Even it doesn't matter how bulky they are. You never know when you're going to need an outlet, especially at the airport. And I love that these ones have like USB ports. So you can plug directly into there. And there's just never enough outlets in the walls wherever you are. So those are really great. This is something that I don't have enough storage in my room. I think a lot of people struggle with that, especially if you are in college or living in a small apartment. Utilizing under bed space is something that's really good and maybe not thought of. These ones, I have ones that are plastic and they're on wheels, so you can roll them in and out. But those ones are a little bit more expensive. These ones are nice because they're clear and they'll keep things like protective and not dusty. And so I just love putting things in their own little packages. It just helps keep me more organized and, labeling sweaters, whatever it is. Nothing too revolutionary, but just the fact that these are things that can easily be like thrown under a bed or anything like that. And then lastly, this is one of my favorite like makeup little caddies. A lot of times I put my skincare on here. They have a bunch of different ones on Amazon, but they're pretty sturdy and it's just nice to be able to display whatever products and have them just as a quick swivel around on your vanity. So those were some things that I found. I'm going to send all of the links in the chat. I didn't know if anyone else has anything that they want to share that they've been using. Feel free to unmute or to send it in the chat. But yeah, those are my organization tips. And I am going to let Brooke take it away.
All right. I just want to add on that too because I loved all of the different products you shared. One of my favorite planners, which I don't know if you guys like to share what your favorite planners are, but I like to use Bando. I don't have an image of what it looks like, but if you love stickers, Bando, it's like Bando, is a really great planner that you can get to that you can decorate everything with stickers. I'm a big sticker girl, so if you have those, I don't know if anyone was looking for a planner recommendation, just to add.
And the Erin Condren, I need to look up how to spell it, but I know that those planners you can like customize with your name and quote and color, and it's all online. I will send a link when I find that.
So now I'm going to walk through the vision board that you guys want to do today. If you guys want to share your screens too while we do it together, you're totally welcome to, or not share screen, but maybe share your faces or whatever. Um, I like to do a vision board digitally, but it's also possible to do them on like a physical poster board or on even just like an 8.5 by 11 copy paper. I actually used to start doing these back in like middle school is when I first ever did one. And I would cut out magazines on like normal like people magazines with celebrities or different products that are like from home interior design, all sorts of stuff. And I would cut them out and put them onto a poster board. That would be like the old school way that I used to do it. And it's still replicable today, but I like to do them on my digital board so I can put them on my screensaver for my phone or on my desktop on my laptop. It's just a nice way to kind of showcase what I'm inspiring for myself for the year. So I'm going to walk through how I do my vision boards. And if any of you have any questions at all, feel free to stop me or raise your hand and I can answer some questions. The first thing I do, and I'm going to share my screen, so let me know if you can see it. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, so I use Pinterest. Also, FYI, if my internet goes out, I'm so sorry. I've been kicked out a couple times of the chat because of my internet. So apologies in advance that happens. But I'm a big fan of Pinterest because I like to pin things all the time here and there, whether it's on a website I'm browsing or if I'm just scrolling through the home feed, it'll always curate new content for me that is really based on what I like. And the more that you use Pinterest, the more that you pin it, the more things you'll see that are kind of like what you want. So I've pretty much developed my Pinterest for the last 10 to 11 years, where it's given me everything that I've wanted in the last few months, especially. And I have a couple boards. So if you ever want to take a look at my board or on someone else's board, that's kind of where I would usually start to go. And I'll go and highlight different things on my board, but I usually like to start with words, things that really inspire me, that want to help me motivate me. Um, Again, you can do this with things that are in a magazine or you can do it digitally, but I'm going to do one that's for the 2021 year, but I also recommend that you can do one that's career focused, or maybe if it's something that you want to do specifically for Alpha Phi, ideas you have if you're an officer, or if you want to visualize something that is specifically towards your personal goals. There's never such thing as too many mood boards. So this is where I'll start. I'll go through different things that I think are pretty interesting. This is one that I saved them all already, but basically I'll just take the photo and I'll save it as an image and I'll put it on my desktop. And this is an example. Girl, you already have what it takes. It inspires me because I already have what it takes. I'll take different words that are important to me and really want to inspire me for 2021. And then I'll go back and I'll go through all my images as well. And I kind of already pre-saved a bunch of images. Do you have a question? Or are you just waving?
Oh, I was just clapping.
Oh,
That's that quote.
great. But yeah, and then I'll go through different boards like my fashion board, because obviously we all are into what's up and coming trends of the new year. I have a bunch of these saved already. So these are just like images of different styles that I really like. And I'll take my favorites of things. As you can tell, I'm really into cheetah. That's like my thing. And I'll take all of that and save it onto my desktop. And I'll gather probably around like maybe 25 to 50 images, depending on how big you want your board to look like. But I really want to change them up. I don't want them to all be the same. Like I'm not going to post or put 20 pictures of the same girl. I'm going to go through shoes, look for photos of things that really want to like inspire me for the year. One of the things I really like to do as well is travel. That's one of my biggest hobbies. And I really want to manifest the idea of going to somewhere fun and beautiful in 2021. Hopefully this pandemic will be over and we can travel safely together. But any sort of idea that I have in mind, I'll pin it and hopefully I'll save it. So I actually saved this photo here that I'm going to put on the board, even if it's just a nice little picnic in Santa Monica. If I want to get some wine with my girlfriends, this is what I want to manifest for the year. And again, it can be any photos you want. These are all images that I saved previously on my Pinterest. And then I also have my own apartment. I know a lot of you girls are probably going to be moving into a new place in the next year, or if you're going to be moving to a new city, whatever it could be. I like to manifest that as well. So I save images of my favorite bloggers, of what they'll post, or just like skylines or ideas that I have for my apartment, different curtains that I might want to do. It's just a good way to inspire me and boost inspiration for what I want to see in my apartment. Does anyone have any questions on like how to use Pinterest? I mean, I feel like everyone kind of knows, but then again, I'm not a TikToker either, so I wouldn't blame you if anyone had any questions. Okay. So after I've gathered all of my images, I'm going to go to Canva, which is one of my absolute favorite design templates. If you've never heard of it, you should definitely consider using it. It is free. If you get the free version, you can use it 100% free for what we're going to do today. And I've actually used this for a lot of different presentations I've done in school, as well as for my business job that I have today. Like I noticed or mentioned before, I used my vision board for my phone wallpaper as well as my iPad screensaver. Today we're going to do a desktop wallpaper, but there's so many different options that you can do, and you can actually print it out. I have different examples of designs that I've done in the past on Canva, all 100% free. So consider getting it if you're a creative person like me. So I've already got it open, but I have a desktop background, and this is going to be what I'll use for the page on my computer screen. And on the side here, I have some images that I already previously saved, and I'm basically just going to click them all in and throw them onto the page. And it's going to be, like I said, anything from like makeup inspiration to, you know, manifesting wine at the beach. That'll be fun. I'm really into cowgirl boots right now, so that's something else I want to include. Again, traveling to somewhere like New York. Maybe getting a dog. That's something else I've considered doing. I'm just going to throw in a bunch of pictures that inspire me to be my most creative self. And gotta get a picture of Arizona in there, where I'm from. And let's see, I'll throw in another.
I think anything that makes you happy too. Like I'm like just I love cows, and I have cows everywhere in my room, but it's like I don't know like what my goal is with that, but like it is just like a happy reminder for me. We had cows on my college campus, so maybe that's why I love them so much. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. I mean, half of these photos are really just like pictures from Pinterest that, you know, like are Tumblr worthy or something like that. But to me, it always has a meaning. So like this picture, I really want to get one of those lack of color hats. Like it's one of my purchases that I want to make on my own, and something that I've been wanting for a while. So that's something that's important to me, and keeping it in my inspo board. And, you know, let's see, maybe I can do another travel photo. I might have put a couple duplicates on here, but long story short, you're going to get all your photos, you're going to gather them onto a page. And if you don't want to create a Canva account, you can also do this on PowerPoint. Super easy. If you do a normal presentation slide on PowerPoint, you can do this as well. And basically now all I'll do is start shrinking them and making them into an aesthetically pleasing backdrop. And it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to be a perfect thing all at first, but I like to kind of move things around and relayer things and set things in the background. Like this photo of a sunset, I can easily make like a very large backdrop in this back corner. And this position button will allow me to bring anything I want to the back. And I personally like to do it where there's no white space on it. So I'm going to get to the point where it's going to be covered in all sorts of pictures.
And you also can right click the image, right, Brooke? And then it will say like bring to back or send. It also shows you like how to position it if you want it to be in the very back or the very front.
Yeah, so right here, I'm going to do that again. So I right click this image and I can send it just one backward, which will put it behind this one. I can try it one more time. Goes behind that one, or I can go all the way to the back. And that's what I'm going to do for right now. Are there any questions out there or any ladies that can agree with me on some of these images?
I feel like you picked images that have like a similar color palette also.
Yeah, and honestly, unintentionally, I think
Yeah.
it just kind of happened that way, but I'm really into pastels, like light blues and pinks and peaches, and maybe that's why my board kept feeding me that, but I
Yeah.
think if you keep within the same color features, it'll probably look a little bit more like aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And I'm going to separate the words so they're not too close to each other as well. Just another good tip.
And Brooke, when you make these in person, like physically,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like, I know I've made the mistake, I don't know if it's a mistake, but like gluing everything down first. Do you recommend like laying it out? I know like sometimes I'm just like, oh, I love this, I'm gonna put it on.
Yeah,
But
100%. I would highly recommend if you're doing this on your board or on a piece of paper, first lay them all out and like cut the pieces out the way that you want them cut, put them there, play with it, maybe move things around first. And then finally, your last step will be to glue things. And then it will look probably the best that you want it to look. Because luckily, when you're working on a digital version, you have the flexibility to move things after you place it.
mm-hmm.
Another cool trick as well, if the photo doesn't have the same crop as you want, is if you double click it, you can move the cropping of the image. So if I want to cut it to here, or I can do so by clicking up at this top left corner, I can crop and it will let me crop if necessary.
Oh, I love that sparkly eye.
Right?
Mhm. Okay, and you have a few questions in the chat. Well, someone wants to know what your Pinterest at is.
Oh,
So,
it's at Brooke Hitchens, spelled Brooke. Hitchens is spelled Hitchins.
okay, I'm gonna send it in there. Hopefully, okay, perfect. And then Chloe said, yes, New York. Megan said travel is on my list for 2021. Hopefully things get better soon. I know
Yes.
my boss has her like, actually got married in October in Napa Valley. It was a really, really small, only 15 people ceremony, and her honeymoon is in May. So I'm really hoping that she's able to go on that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And then Chloe also asked, what's the template you used for Canva?
This one is the desktop background. And it may even show you like the dimensions. I wonder if it can show me right now. I don't think it's going to show me here, but it should just be desktop background because I'm going to plan on putting this behind my screen for the background.
So if you were to hit templates, that would show you all of the.
Like on this page.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this template. I actually didn't choose a template. I just did a blank
Oh,
page.
oh, you
Yeah.
just got it.
Yeah, but on the home page, you can select what dimensions you want for your page to look like. So there's like an iPhone background, or if you wanted it to be a standard 4:3 aspect ratio for a presentation rather than the normal 19 by or 16 by 9. I think this is 16 by 9 desktop. But as for back or template over here, I actually didn't select one at all. It's just completely blank slate. And then, yeah, these are all very great tools on the left here. So I was in the uploads section, which is where I uploaded all of my images right here. I'm going to keep throwing in some new things here. This is my body goals. I'm going to work out all year long while eating pizza, clearly. And then also photos, you can actually search up different photos here. Sometimes they do have photos that you'd have to pay for. which obviously look out for the little crown, which is listed here. If I wanted to, I can look up like party and maybe there'll be a free image and I can throw one of these in there. Let's see. This one's pastel. I kind of like that one. So I can throw that one in the left corner and it works the same way. So I can right click it, send to back. Maybe I don't like that. I'll work around it.
I feel like these could also almost be like for yourself, but also like a cute, like thinking of you type gift or something like that. Or,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. Like if you're, want to share pictures of like your pets or your family or whatever, I feel like these are like a really cute, free, almost like digital card.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely encourage that because these digital pieces are so easy to make. Like once you get the hang of it, it'll be so much easier to do.
Mhm.
And it's kind of fun. You can send them to friends. Like this could just be one that you make for your friend and send it to her and say, hey, look, I made this for you or your
Yeah.
sister.
Oh my gosh, I would love if someone said, this vision board was inspired by you. I'd be like, oh my God.
I'm going to move this one forward and this a little bit up.
And if you haven't used Canva before, like I remember we had to use it for a school project and I had never used it before. And like there were moments where I was just like, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. But once you do play around with it, it's just such a great tool. Like I'm going to be presenting at our leadership conference in, I guess it's this weekend, with Southwest and Northeast next weekend. And I had to make a few like ads, like video ads, and I was able to make them on here. So you really can make anything on Canva.
And it's fun. I get addicted sometimes. Okay, so for the most part, I think I have everything laid out at the bottom here. And then I just want to highlight a few extra things that you can throw in. Elements is a really fun section on Canva that you can search up different stickers. I know I mentioned literally I loved stickers. So if I wanted to find something like a star, it can give me all these different free elements that I can throw on there. So maybe I want to throw on this cute little wishful icon. And I'll put it down here. And then I can look up, I don't know, any ideas and anything that you girls are manifesting or you think I should throw in as like a additional piece. I'm going to open my chat because I can't see it. So let me know if you see any chat.
More travel, maybe like a little like airplane.
Yeah, I can throw in anything. And this is the cool part about this tool is that you can search the word travel or airplane, and all of these tools are free except for the ones with the little crown. So watch out for the pro. Basically what will happen is if you did put it on there, it'll make me either pay for the $2.99 or $1.99 fee if I were to print it or save it. But if you choose all the free items, then it won't be a problem. So I think I saw a cute one I liked on the travel.
And Melinda said Canva is such a cool tool. Pro has some incredible features like background erase, worth the splurge if you use a lot of graphics. So I know like Alpha Phi marketing, we have a pro account. And so I have access to that one. And it is nice, but you can still do a lot of different things on the free version.
Yeah, I've been able to last with the free one since college, which has been nice. I'll throw that one here. It's got some blank space. So I'll put that little
This is
journal.
looking so good. Like this is making me feel like in a better mood.
Hopefully inspired.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is too, the text is also really fun. This is why I prefer to use Canva over Microsoft PowerPoint. Obviously, they both have their own section of text and stuff like that, but this is pretty cool. They have all of the Google fonts. And if you've ever used any other sort of Google platform, you'll recognize some of these, and these aren't usually on Microsoft products, but there's so many different texts to use. I can use this one and just put 2021 and I can change the color of it. Let's do like a white match. I can throw it up here. And another cool trick is transparency tool. I can move the transparency. Like if I wanted to make it really big, obviously not necessary because it's pretty cluttered, but for the most part, you could throw in something that goes as an overlay. I love using the transparency tool. It's pretty useful. I'll make that one like that. Another cool thing is the sparkle tool. It'll allow me to pretty much put a font that's sparkly. So I'll put my name, I'll change the color, maybe pink, it's my favorite color. So we'll do that one. And it's just kind of like a nice little personalized touch. I can throw in maybe like there. I like that. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I've actually never touched the music section of this, but I imagine that when you do a typical presentation on Canva, you can throw in some audio that's pretty much like free for copyright. And then video images as well. Obviously that doesn't really work for a desktop background, but if you wanted like a real like expert background for your vision board, you can throw in some video. And then if you don't want to start with a blank page, you can also go to the background section and you can throw in something like, I'll just do one more, oh, that's a note. I'll throw one more page in. If I wanted to start with like a background that looked like that, oh, I guess that one you have to pay for. Forget that one. But usually you can use something that's free, like this one's free. Kind of like a paint splatter wall, which is pretty unique. You can pin stuff on there. Another idea, which is pretty cool, is under the elements, I think this is where it's at. You can do more than just stickers, and you can throw in lines or shapes. And what I love are the frames, because you can put an image inside this frame. So if I wanted to put something unique, like a Polaroid picture, this is like an idea of, you know, like what a Polaroid would look like. And then I can throw in a photo and put that there as well. And that can be like one of my vision boards, and you can just put like maybe like 9 different images if that's your style. If you want something more classic, easy, not so jumbled around, like that's something we could do too. We can throw in different images that way.
Do you
any
have
of you guys have any questions?
I was just going to say, do you have any tips on like saving it? Like what version to save these in? Do you want
Yeah.
to JPEG or?
Yeah, I would always usually save it as a JPEG if I'm going to make it my background. So up here, you can click download. The PNG file is typically common for creatives if you have something that has like a transparent view, or if it's going to be without the, like if it's a vectorized image, but I don't have the pro version. So downloading it as a PNG, I don't think is actually an option. So I just save it as a normal photo JPEG file. And I'll click that, and sorry, I have my little zoom thing in the way. The size, I don't even adjust anything because I don't have the pro, but I guess technically if you did want to go into the pro version, you can actually change the size of what your quality is. It looks like this one is the 1920 by 1080 pixel desktop background, which is what I wanted. So I'll go to select pages. And in this case, I just want to save the first one because that one's done. And then I'll download it, and it will come all the way to my corner over here. Another option though, if you wanted to print this out, is you could save it as a PDF, which is pretty neat. So let's see, I'll open this up and look at it. There you go. So there's my like desktop version, but I can also go to download and change it to PDF, and PDF print is usually what I go for because it's usually higher quality and it works the same way. You can just print it on out. Select the page, and then crop, marks, and bleed. I believe if you select that, it's basically allowing it to get to the farthest edges of the page rather than having that white border. So if I download it, I'll have a PDF version that I can simply just print and I can put on my wall or put in a frame or whatever you choose to do. You could even put it in like a binder. Like this sounds very high school of me, but I loved using binders when I was in high school, and in college I had my own personal planners, like I said, that were like designed that way. But in this case, if you don't have an Erin Condren or if you have your own folders, you can download the PDF and just slip it into that plastic sleeve and use that. So there we go.
That looks so good.
Thank you. Any questions? I hope you guys liked it.
I think one thing that I took away from this is that you can't have like too many pictures. Like
Mm.
when you're first starting too, like just download anything that appeals to you, because you don't have to put it in your final product. Like I know I would be the type of person to only pick like these 12 images that are going to fit, when it's like you might as well just download everything and see how it swaps out.
And I had a lot that I didn't end up choosing. And I think it adds more, like it looks better when it's not too overwhelmed. So I think I'm happy with the final product, and I could always swap one out. So like it's good to kind of, again, play with the colors and play with the way it looks. Like maybe if I don't like the way one of them looks, it's so easy to swap one in and out. And that's what I love so much about Canva, because you can throw all of the photos here. It's kind of like looking at it like a feed on the left and seeing what I like. And then it's easy to play around with. And another cool tool, which I actually use almost every time I'm with Canva, is this little plus button will allow you to duplicate the page. So if I loved this, but I wanted to mess around with it without like completely losing what I had, I'll just duplicate the page and it will give me exactly the same format. I can move anything I want around, and maybe I'll move this down here or over here, and whatever I want to do, I can do make those changes, but the first product will always be at the top.
One question is, how do you set it up as your background? Chloe, do you mean like, how do you put it as your desktop background? I'm guessing that's probably what you mean. Also, I hope I'm saying your name right.
I will show that. I think that's what she's asking. So let me go into my downloads. And apologies for my messy computer desktop. It's definitely not going to look that cute with all of my icons. Okay, so I've got my JPEG. This is on a PC, by the way. So if it's on a Mac, it should be very similar, but I just right click the image in my folder, or if it's like on your desktop already, and there should be an option that says set as desktop background. And so I'll do that and it should work. But again, apologies if there's like a big mess. Oh yeah. Yeah, so you have so many icons here because this is my work computer and I don't take care of it clearly. But yeah, so that's how you get it there.
Awesome. Any other questions that you guys have?
Are there any other fellow Pinterest lovers out there? Or is it just me?
Yeah, definitely. I need to get more into it. It's ever since I was like in middle school or high school, I had like a wedding ring board. And it's like, I still like, that's my most active board. And I'm like, not necessarily close to that, but just funny.
Yeah, I love the Pinterest. I like that my Instagram feed kind of starts to feed me the things that I like on Pinterest too. That's kind of why I choose to follow like certain influencers. I'm like, ooh, I love her feed, and very Pinteresty to me. That's kind of what I'm into, is all the aesthetic of that. So it's kind of why I like my Pinterest so much.
Yeah. I also feel like this would be a good way if you and like a partner are trying to work on a project, or maybe you and like your significant other are redecorating a space, like making one of these and being like, this is my vibe and my vision, could be really helpful than just trying to describe it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, like Chip and Joanna Gaines probably use these.
Yeah, 100%. It is literally a vision board. The whole idea is to help you like have your vision come to life. And it could, like she said, it could be for like a specific project, or, you know, even for a school project, if it's something like you're envisioning for your presentation, like what are the color schemes? Like what are the things you want to include? What's your motive? I mean, I like to do these vision boards for the year, but I think it's also a great idea for, you know, what's your goal in your career? How are you going to move in your professional career? If you're an officer on exec, like what is your plans for the philanthropy event? I think that's a really cool way to do it too. Or even like a sisterhood event, if you're coming up with ideas, what do you want it to look like? It's a perfect tool to utilize. And when you get the hang of it, it becomes so natural. You start to do it all the time.
I just had another thought when you said that, based on, you know, it could be for school, it could be for work, but I feel like this would be something to add into a portfolio that like your manager or boss might not be expecting. Like if they ask you to work on a project, then like putting something together and being like, this is where my inspiration came from. I know one of my friends, she actually is a designer for Levi's, and a lot of times puts together different vision boards before presenting
Very
yeah. Cool. Any other questions from anyone or comments, anything that has worked for you in this crazy time, organization or artsy wise? Awesome. Well, Brooke and I will hang on for a couple minutes if anyone wants to stay on and ask us any questions, but thank you so much. Is today Monday? Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, some of your Monday with us. And we hope that this made your week a little brighter, and go off with feet.